Okay, so we have you there. I have my timer all set and ready to go.
Yeah, now the most challenging part of today, of
Yes.
my day today, of my Sunday.
10 minutes and take it away.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, let's get started. And today, I'm going to talk about games and how what is a good game, what makes a good educational game. And this is the first slide, which you can see. So usually, when I talk to my colleagues and when I ask them why and how they use games in their classes, so the most common answers are these on the slide. So we use games as a reward. So we use games just to entertain, maybe to bring some fun to our classroom. And very often we use games as time fillers. Of course, there is a percentage of people, of English teachers, who understand that games can be used also as a powerful a teaching tool, but still the situation with the use of games is not well. So still a lot of people in the world, they think that games are just for entertainment. And sometimes English teachers, they've got this idea on their minds. Okay, games are good only for young learners. Okay, when I work with primary school, pre-primary, with young learners, so that's okay to use games. But as soon as my students grow and when they become teens and adults, okay, I don't want to use so many games in my classroom. And I've got this feeling, okay, they don't really enjoy the game so much. And sometimes they say, okay, teacher, maybe we will stop playing and maybe we will do something more useful. Okay, things like this do happen nowadays. Okay, so and why do we have this attitude to games among our colleagues? Yes, everybody likes games, but some people still think that well, games, they are more for fun than for some effective work. Okay, if you use games like this, so have a look at the slide. So it's like a typical ELT board game, yeah, snakes and ladders type. And a lot of teachers use games like this in their classroom. Okay, but now let's have a proper look. Let's have a careful, a very careful look at this game. So is it a game? So as a player, what do you have to do here? You've got your starting point and you've got a counter. You move your counter, but before you move your counter, you need to roll the dice. So if you are older than 6, you know that you can't influence the result on the dice. Okay, it's just random thing. You can't do anything. So you roll the dice, you move your counter to some particular square, and then you give an answer. So you have to make up a sentence or open the brackets and fill in the gaps, or maybe you need just to make up a question. Okay, how different is this thing just from a regular traditional grammar exercise in your course book? Just think about it. What makes this kind of activity a game? Just a dice, but I can't influence the result on the dice. And when I should give the answer, so the situation is like this: I know the answer or I don't know the answer. If I'm not smart enough, if I'm not a very smart student, okay, of course I'll lose in this game. Okay, so just think about this thing. Do you play snakes and ladders type of games with your teenage children in real life at home in the evenings? When you go out for a glass of beer, maybe with your friends, do you play snakes and ladders? I bet you don't. Why? It's not interesting at this in your age, for people of your age. So this type of games can be interesting only for those who is younger than 6. Okay, now let's have a look at another quite popular game. I think that I think you can recognize it's Kahoot. Yeah, and a lot of English teachers use it as a game in their classrooms. Okay, now let's discuss this game. So what do we have to do here? There is a question and you give an answer. The situation is again like this, whether you know the correct answer or you don't know the answer. So is it a game? So how can you influence this game? What kind of strategy can you work out? It's just a test. So both of these things are called broccoli in chocolate. This is what game designers call our educational games. So we bring to our classroom just some chocolate to cover broccoli, but a student who has started playing computer games at the age of 1 or 2, he or she, well, they know what is a real good game. And a real good game, this is something where you can make meaningful choices, where you can work out your strategy, where you can win even if you don't know all the correct answers. Okay, and I think this is now the biggest problem with games in ELT. So English teachers know too little about game design, and that's why we can't make our educational games interesting enough for our students. And we should keep it in mind that we don't compete with boring course books. We compete with great computer games, Minecraft, Fortnite, World of Warcraft. So the games which are really, really good, and game designers who created these games, they know how to involve our players into their games. Okay, but of course there is a way out, and as Trendy English Games company, so we create real games with game goals, with meaningful choices, and of course with educational goals. Okay, I'm not going now to explain you the rules of the game, which you can see on the slide. I'll just say that it is very similar. It is based on the game mechanic Go Fish, and I want you to show 2 short videos. In the first video, I try to teach my students in a traditional way how to use the question, what does he look like? Okay, let's have a look at it.
How look like a scar?
Стоп, почему how? Смотрим на доску.
Стоп, нет.
Вика, вот.
Vika, what does look like a scar?
На доску внимательно смотри.
What does he look like?
What does a scar look like? Okay, that was the first example. And now let's have a look at the same activity, but now wrapped into a real, well, turned into a real game. Now we don't just drill these questions, but students play the game with real meaningful choices, and they drill this question without noticing it.
Vika, what does Nick look like?
I don't know. И кнопочка надо сейчас нажать. Сейчас. Илья, what does Lucy look like?
I don't know. Какой Алекс? Стоп, нет, подождите, Google, уйди, Google. Нет. Все. Так, в общем. Oscar, what does Bill look like?
Bill has got blonde hair.
Нажимай.
Только одну?
Блин,
Зачем мне это сказал?
Oscar, what does Bill look like?
Yeah, he's fat.
Давай. Да.
Okay, I think I do hope that you can see the difference between drilling the same kind of question in a traditional way and in a form of a game. And believe me, that snakes and ladders type of game wouldn't help here. And I would have the same boring voice from my student if he rolls the dice, and moves his counter. But when he plays a real game where he can influence the outcome, you can see how involved the person gets. Okay, that is another example of a real game. And actually, this game you can play for free online if you join us on this platform, Games в Знания. So you've got this